Okay, hi everybody, it's me, Bonkai922, Psychopaths 2. I saw in the J Room that Tom wrote that this was a crazy episode. Kinda is. Well, the ending was. So, apparently a lot of shit is going down in this episode. More to the point of Kamui and what we find out about Kamui. And it's kind of interesting. I like the spin on this. Also in this episode, which, oh boy, this tripped me the fuck out. Akane is having a conversation with Kogami, but he's not really there. It's an illusion. It's a hallucination. Who's there talking to her isn't Kogami. It's togane. So it's funny how that name, those two names sound familiar, similar. Kogami, togane, Kogami, togane. It's I find it very interesting how they spin on that. But there's obviously a connection there. And as she's during this episode, she was talking to him about, they're talking about Kamui and the whole thing. What's her face? Miki? She finds out about togane more often. She finds out that every inspector that he's been with, he's turned into a latent criminal. It's also finds out something to do with the togane company. There's a company apparently, and they're involved in this somehow as well. But the big shocker was at the end. So apparently Kamui is not alone in this situation. He apparently was one survivor among all of them, who from a plane crash when he was in elementary school plane crash. And the story is that all those cases they had during this season of certain individuals, yeah, apparently those were hologram people. And apparently Kamui's the one who made them. So the plot thickens. So essentially, the doctor from the first season basically tells them, like, Kamui's been everywhere. He's been right under your noses. That kind of feeling. I'm like, dun dun dun. So this episode really eludes us in saying the plot has thickened, really. So now all these holograms that he's created of him, of basically him, they're a bit different individuals, but they're people who are on that plane, who he has turned into, which is him, essentially. And they're all going to use the Dominators. Well, see, it's kind of weird because at the end of the episode, it's very confusing to me. He gives something to this guy, but it doesn't look like a Dominator. It looks like a fist or something. But essentially, that's what went down in this episode. And I have to say, this gets a 4.5 out of 5 once again. This is really getting really, really interesting. Also, when you know, Akane was having her illusion conversation with Kogami, he mentions that Makishima, that Kamui is different from Makishima. And similar at the same time, I think he said that. But this whole thing is very elaborate. this whole plot that's going on, what's going down. I really like what they're doing here. It's really elaborate. I'm going to hold my tongue and say I'm not going to proclaim that this season's better than season 1. Quite yet. Quite yet. It's very elaborate. There are a lot of different things going on. I like where this is going. But I still think season 1's the best. I mean, you can't. I mean, there's so much to season 1 that it's just so much hype, so much amazement. But for this season, what I do have to say, it's very elaborate. It's very elaborate. Different plot points. You have Kamui. Then you have this mystery going on with togane. A lot of interesting things going on. But hopefully they address most of these things. They address Kamui, they address togane, and they address the Sibley system. Because that was the other thing that happened in this episode. Was when Akane was basically stabbing that dagger. Stabbing that dagger right into the chief. It was the Sibley system. And stating, I will arrest Kamui and he will be judged. And that's it. I like how she did that. She just put it right in there. When this season's over, I'm definitely going to proclaim Akane as... She went from being... From season 1 to this season, she just transformed into a completely different character. And I think it's amazing. True shit. True shit. But, yeah, that's pretty much the story there. 4.5 out of 5. I can't wait to see the ending of this. And I think there's only 11 episodes of Psycho Pass 2. So, that's probably the only downside about this. But still, fantastic. Fucking amazing. Fucking amazing. Oh, by the way, this is a side note just to mention this. I'm almost caught up with Gotham. Yeah. Yesterday I was off from work, and I just fucking binge watched. Just went on a fucking marathon on those episodes. So I only got like one more episode to watch before the next episode, which comes out Monday. And the episode I gotta watch is Harvey Dent. I should mention that. But this episode of Psycho Pass 2, fantastic. I'm dying to know about togane. I want to know what his deal is. We're going to get Kamui. There's just so many different things going on in this series right now. I'm loving the fuck out of it. Tell me what you guys think in the comment section below. What do you think about Kamui, togane, Akane's hallucination of Kogami being there? And does that mean, do those two names sound familiar? The way they sound. Kogami, togane. They sound so similar. I'll see you guys later. Kamui is everywhere. That's the title of this review. Kamui is everywhere. You can't escape this fucker. He's everywhere. And we'll see what happens. I'll see you guys later.